was there because on Easter Eve, they were supposed to do the last sacrifice to bring Lucifer up. He's very massive being, energy-wise, and so you need a big, huge door to get a big, huge person through. Well, I'll call him a person. I won't give him that honor. This critter, this big, huge monster up from the underverse, you have to have a big door. So what they've been doing for thousands of years, first they did a black witch, did a spell that created the Black Plague, and it swept and killed millions across Europe. They took all of those bodies to Paris before it was Paris, and they put them and made those labyrinths of the catacombs. Paris means par in French is for Isis. So Paris is for Isis. And then they, on the Temple of Isis that had been broken down, they rebuilt Notre Dame. That's why you see, as you were talking before, you can see these winged reptiles having sex, for example, with kids. There are statues like that. You can see chimeras and gargoyles. Those doors were so massive, the guy that built them, he couldn't get them up. And so he sold his soul to Lucifer, and Lucifer put them up for him, and they could not get the doors open. That was by design, so when they would burn it the last time, the doors would again, it would take the water, the holy water, they threw over the doors to be able to open and close them. It would bake that out of there. And then the roof was made out of lead so that the people in there would die of lead toxification, which is an extremely painful way to die. So they'd die in agony. And that, all of that, every year, for all of those years, on Easter Eve, when the people would gather up in the church for the holy pilgrimage through the Holy Land, all the holy sites like Jerusalem and Bethlehem and all of that, they would do a service there first. And so they would, underneath Notre Dame, sacrifice 666 children in satanic ritual in the catacomb under Notre Dame to get that energy and the blood flowing into the underverse. And it has to be done at that exact time with that exact alignment of the stars have to be lined up precisely. And you have to have a high witch or warlock to do that, or both, which Big Mike, is, since she's a it's a trainee, was to be the final one to do it. Michael V. Robinson, was to do the last sacrifice down there and do the ritual. And the idea was they got the crown of thorns there. They took the blood from Christ off of it and cloned a body for the Antichrist, Lucifer, to come into. When you clone a body like that, it doesn't have a soul. Souls won't come into that. And so that was the body for Lucifer to come up on that Easter Eve. But without that star alignment and that burn, with nobody in there but the clone running around as a little Muslim guy running around, a little freaked out. It's 4 days too early. She's on the boat freaking out, seeing the flames. So you can see it in her wine glass. And then she hurriedly, people say, no, she was in a cab. It's both. And she had him pull up, got off, got a cab, and hurried over there because she was freaked out that it's burning 4 days too soon. So when you do that without the stellar alignment that you have to have, and you have that door almost all the way open to where you want, imagine a big, huge door that's mostly open, and you don't have the energy to open it the rest of the way. You don't have a stellar alignment. You don't have the people in there. You don't have the child sacrifice of the 666 kids that you're to do that on the day you're supposed to do it. All that's not there. It's then you slam that door to shut as hard as you can. It shatters the door and breaks it and locks that hole shut permanently. That's why Ellen DeGeneres has that Lego piece with the top gone, because their communication, their God coming up from the universe to go into that body to be the Antichrist, was slammed shut. So this takes an understanding and a discernment to understand that their timeline of the Antichrist rising and the apocalypse and all of this has been denied by God. God allows all things. That if you buy into that, yeah, you still get that. They'll get that up to the year 2045. But if you don't buy into that, and you know that was ended by the White Hats burning that down 4 days too soon. You can see a TR-3B lighting that place up. And you can watch the movie iPet Goat too, and look at the timing in that. When you're out of timing, timing is everything, like he has always said. You're out of the timing, and so they've slammed that timeline shut so that the Great Awakening can happen instead. Depends on where you focus your thoughts, what future you create. You will create their future for them if you're going to focus on that. That has to be that Armageddon and the Antichrist and all that has to come. It does come, but on their timeline, not on the timeline of humanity.